As web developers, we care deeply about the web, and we wanted to make this hack for a sustainable future personal. We're a team of 2 software engineers. My name is Sam.
And my name is Yannis.
Let's start off with a question. Have you ever asked yourself what impact your digital footprint has on the real world?
The cloud doesn't really look like this. The place where we store our data in the thousands of data centers around the world looks a little bit more like this, because most data centers still aren't powered by renewable energy. And to make things worse, the internet produces roughly 1 billion tons of greenhouse gases a year. All of this led us to our problem statement. How do we improve awareness and tackle the growing environmental impact of our internet usage?
We used poster notes to scope and GitHub projects to plan, and out the other side came DigitalFootPrint.earth. So what does it do?
DigitalFootPrint.earth is a trifecta of tools that brings the impact you have when using the internet to life through interactive storytelling using maps. It also helps you reduce the impact your site has on the environment and provides a way to audit, rank, and aggregate web pages to create a new standard for a greener web.
Let's go through a demo and show you.
So when you visit DigitalFootPrint.earth, you can enter the URL of any website. It all starts with you at your computer or phone, and then your request is routed to your nearest internet service point, or ISP. In my case, that's in Regent's Park, about 12 Olympic-sized swimming pools away. That request is then distributed to a content delivery network. In my case, the request is fulfilled by a server all the way in California. CDNs are the foundation of the internet as we know it today, and they're distributed around the world, serving requests every second. But the problem is, each visit produces about 2.25 grams of CO2 every time. If you visited the site 100 times, that would be the equivalent of driving around in about this much of my local neighborhood. But it's not just you making requests, it's millions of people. This 3D heat map shows the CO2 emissions per capita by country. The combined internet emissions surpass those of every country on Earth except the US and China at almost 1 billion tons of greenhouse gases. So what can we do? Well, our suite of tools performs an evaluation of the hosting and whether or not it's green, the site's performance, and its page weight. And if you own the site, this should provide some direction on how to improve. And if not, we also provide some quick and easy tips on how to be a greener citizen of the internet.
We used a variety of different technologies to create the application. We used Gatsby, React, and some of the ArcGIS JS APIs, and we used Express, Puppeteer, Firebase, and the ArcGIS Developer REST APIs on the back end. In terms of the actual specific APIs from ArcGIS that we used the map with 3D scenes, layers, and graphics. We used the service area API. We added our own feature layers and made them publicly available. And after hearing that heat maps were not supported in 3D scenes, we came up with our own way to add them. But the story is only half the picture. We also created a couple of APIs that you can access as a developer to audit your own pages and create badges as well. So let's look at the first one of those. You can make a GET request to api.digitalfootprint.earth/audits, followed by a URL, and we will return the audit information as well as some of the environmental data that we can and the CDN locations if we can find them of that URL. We created a very small snippet of code, just a couple of script tags and a div that if you place on your screen will populate a badge. You can see here an example. It uses the URL of the page it is rendered on to determine the audit, so you can't cheat it by putting a different value on there.
Over the last 3 weeks, we also carried out regular user interviews to improve our user experience and design the product with our users in mind.
During the hack, we also had a number of challenges, working with a brand new API, the ArcGIS API, integrating ArcGIS and Gatsby, generating badges on the server, caching and cache invalidation, and data sourcing. You can read more about these on the dev post. The primary objective of DigitalFootprint.earth is not to make money, but instead to raise awareness and educate the general public about how their internet activity contributes to one of the biggest challenges of this generation. However, while working on our suite of tools, we realized there was a potential monetization strategy. We currently cache audits to reduce strain on our servers and speed up our application to improve user experience. Developers may find that they would like to audit their site more frequently than our caching mechanism allows. We could provide a membership that allows individuals and or organizations to refresh cache scores on our API more frequently, leading to a more accurate reading.
Although this hack took place over 3 weeks, there was still a lot of features that we would have loved to implement that we didn't have time for. And the following is a quick list of some extensions that we would like to implement next. You can read more about these on the dev post.
Thank you very much for listening. We'd love you to go try it out at DigitalFootPrint.earth. That really is the best way to understand what this tool can do.
Thank you very much for listening, and a special thank you to the Esri team for organizing this year's Hack for a Sustainable Future.